What's up? What's up? Doing good. Doing really well. It's the end of the year. Looking forward to next year, hopefully. But life is good. Still got my health. Kids are good. Family's good. Can't really complain. Doing good. Doing really well. It's the end of the year. Looking forward to next year, hopefully. I should probably not have this reverb. Still got my health. Kids are good. There we go. Let's see here. So bear with me, everybody. I am figuring this out as we go along, but I'm hoping to do more of these as we are campaigning for Project H. So thank you all for being here. But yeah, hit me with some questions, or if you have questions about Project H as well. Public, oh wow, what is this? No, okay, let's save that. All right, let's see how we do. All right, figuring this out as we go. Let's see here. How do I edit this here? Does anyone know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to play music while streaming, or do they flag that? Yes, Happy New Year. What time is it? It is now 4:22 here in California. Where are some of you guys coming from? Guys and gals. It does. Okay, good to know. Thank you. Because I was gonna say I was gonna start playing some We Came as Romans, but since we can't do that here, I just have to play it in my mind right now. We got any other metalcore fans out there? Nice, nice. Let me see if I can move this over so I can always have it on my site. All right, let's put this over here. Make this smaller. Here we go. All right, what's going on over here? Ah, good to know. Okay, thank you. All right. So this past week, I was doing location scouts for a show and got to find some pretty cool locations. I was running around in the deserts over in Palmdale and California City and found some nice stuff. So I'm going to be doing some vlogs here soon. I've got some that are being edited right now, and I'm going to go ahead and take you guys on the journey with us. Well, with me right now, it's really just me and my GoPro and some other cameras, but that's kind of what I've been doing right now, while we also crowdfund and look to get investors for our show, because I put in so much money and our producers have worked really hard at, getting all these things that are, being developed. So it's hard to actually, just use your own money. So it's not about trying to go ahead and, make everything. We want to make everything as polished as possible, but we don't want to go broke in the process of doing it. So that's why we need funds. We need contributions to go ahead and really do this the right way. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm having a great time, being a sort of magician or a jack of all trades right now, because we're building props, developing costumes, talking with, potential cast members, location scouting. All of this is being done and has been getting done for months now. So it's a lot of fun. That's what I'm doing right now. Talk about ProjectH. That's what I'm doing right now. But no, do you guys have any questions or comments, or anything you want to see here in my office here? It's a whole cave of just toys and fun nerd stuff. So yeah. Let's see here. But yes, here to answer questions as they come in. So feel free to ask me questions, and I will answer them as best as I can without giving away too much. Because that's always the trick, to answer questions, but give people insight without giving you everything. Because we all can't stand trailers that literally tell the whole movie. Oh, let's see here. Okay, so Kid Crowder says, hi, says, I'm into martial arts, action making, but in my country is not as prominent and appreciated. Says, how do I keep going? How do I keep doing it and make the most out of it and not feel like I'm doing nothing? It's a really good question. What I did is I used to go out into the park and just practice forms. But if you're beyond that, and you want to start sort of seeing the fruits of your labor, I would start recording yourself and start doing forms. Forms were developed by many different martial arts to simulate, you know, if you know this, they simulated a field. Means military, so the military arts. So you would simulate a sort of scenario that you would run into, and that allowed you to work on your techniques and stuff like that. Same principle applies. If you've got no one to work with, the best thing you can go ahead and do is start recording yourself doing a flow. I like to call forms flows because a lot of times it's all about self-expression. Like, we all train martial arts, you know, and we want to be as regimented as possible. But one thing that starts to get really, really stiff with martial arts is we get so locked into that's the way I did it in Taekwondo, or, you know, when I did, you know, Northern Fist Shaolin, you know, we were taught to, you know, we never, you know, turn our hip over when we do kicks. Everything's supposed to be straight and locked. You know, it's like, hey man, like we're there's all different styles that you can sort of, you know, mesh and meld. But the biggest thing is to not get so locked into one style that it breaks your creativity. You know what I mean? That's my biggest thing. Now, depending on if you're doing a genre, say you're doing a sort of tactical piece. Let's take, I don't know, Mission Impossible or Taken, and you're doing a lot of CQC. I think the biggest thing is to not do any poses, not get too crazy with the angles. You want to keep everything a little more tight. Not so born tight that you can't see anything, but to the point where you're literally in the action. It's more handheld and it's a little more intimate. You know what I mean? So yeah, if that answers your question. I go off on a tangent all the time, so I'm sure that kind of answered your question, and then you're like, why is he talking about Taken? That's just because I love to talking about martial arts films and stuff like that. Anyways, yeah, go out and train wherever there's space, and if you have a camera, start recording yourself. Take a GoPro. I'm using a GoPro to live stream right now, and I've been using it to go ahead and vlog as well. The biggest thing that you can do is to just record yourself. Just go out, record yourself, and then watch. And I kid you not, you'll learn so much from just that process alone. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, it's Film Combat Syndicate. What's up? Yes, I am alive. Yes. Anything that I have from the MCU set? That's a really good question. You know what? I do. Hold that thought. I'll be right back. All right. Somebody asked a really, really good question. So, we just finished Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and what I was able to procure were my boots. So I've worked on a couple of these films and TV shows and whatnot over the years, and the one thing that I never got to keep was any of the goggles. That's another thing I would love to have, but I don't have them. But I did keep my shoes. These shoes were specifically made for all of the sort of action and acrobatics and kicking sequences that we did in the show coming up. And that's pretty much all I can reveal. But other than that, these are a one-of-a-kind. This is a Kobe. So as you can see on the bottom, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this has a Kobe 10 sole on it, and they were fitted custom with leather around them, and they zip up on the side here. So this is my only sort of Marvel sort of heirloom from my time as Falcon. But as you can see, there's a black tongue in there, and have the little number, the Roman numeral inside. So yeah. It's one thing I'm very, very proud of, because I got these. It was a, with costumes and wardrobe, it's always this kind of a struggle to kind of get anything made, because a lot of times by the time you get there, things are already made. So it's like, things are already made. We don't have time to do this. We don't have time to do that, blah, blah, blah. But I knew for a fact that going in is what I wanted to do with the characters. So I really wanted to make sure that I had the proper footwear. Over the years, being Falcon, I've definitely worn some interesting shoes. The first pair of shoes were these really big clodhoppers sort of boots that had a bunch of metal on them, and they were like, here you go. And so over the years, I've just gotten smarter about getting in with costumes and wardrobe and politely asking for the proper equipment. And so when we got on Falcon and Winter Soldier, I made sure to go ahead and ask them. I said ahead of time, I said, hey, I would like a pair of shoes that I can actually properly kick in. So this is what we came up with, and it worked out really, really good. So I'm hoping everybody's really happy with the work that we did on that show, because we did a lot. Do I have a favorite stunt I performed? The Falcon split kick is among one of my most favorite sort of treasured things, and the reason is because it's such a hard move to do, and I don't ever want to do it again, just because of the sort of setup with the costume and the wires, and it took a while. That move necessarily wasn't the easiest move to pull off, and I can say this without question that the move is not done overnight. It's not a consistent like 1, 2, 2, 3 thing. It's one of those things. If you think about like Jackie Chan films, and you think about how many takes it takes Jackie to get like a very specific scene, it was that. And in America, people are used to things being done immediately. They're like, oh, it's not working, let's go ahead and move on. And to my credit, and to the credit of our stunt coordinator, Sam Hargrave, he fought for me to get this move done, because people were getting, sort of impatient about the move not working immediately. And they were like, should we do something else? And this and that. And Sam was like, no, just wait. And we finally got, a good take or two, and it was great, and everybody was happy. But that's the thing about filmmaking. Like, filmmaking is not about, all right, just fill in, the holes and make sure everything is perfect. Filmmaking, to me, is an organic process, and it happens as you massage it and over time and as you sort of develop. Comedy works the same way. I've been on shows where it's a comedy show and you literally are doing the same scene all day. It's because they're trying to find the timing in the moment. So it's not about just going, okay, so you say this, all right, moving on. No, everybody's trying to find the actual, the sort of funny in the situation. And that's the same thing with action. You apply a sort of, I like to, it's not for everyone, but I like to apply a sort of approach that is more organic, that allows you to get the best result. And I think moving forward, we're going to get a lot more sort of solid action with that process. I think you're going to get a way more awesome sort of situation of, scenes, ensemble casts and, stunts and all that, but that's not for everybody. Why? Because time is money, and I understand that, but looking to do a blend of that and not just merge just the Hong Kong way, but also blend in the sort of the American way of doing things, because there's a lot of things that we do here in America that we do well. Our organization is through the roof, you know what I mean? But when it comes to, the priority of action versus the drama of the story, I feel like there's an imbalance, and you only get them balanced when you have both parties talking to each other properly. And so that's what I'm looking to do with ProjectH, is to merge my sort of knowledge of working with Hong Kong teams and, other teams, but blend that with an American sensibility and make it, gel well, so that we get some amazing stuff. So that's the goal. The questions says, It's crazy. You have a favorite son. We are answered that question. Are you retiring soon? Yes, I am semi-retired from doing Falcon stuff. That's the whole thing. I'm not retired from being a stunt person. I'm just retired from being Falcon. I feel like I've given everything that I can to that character, and I'm ready to move on. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. I think, like, giving it your all, you'll know. And I knew that there was nothing more to be done for me with Falcon. I think Falcon's gonna be great. I mean, there's so many up and coming performers that I think can do really well with Falcon, and with Mackie. Like, he's getting ready to do what's it called, on the Wire, Over the Wire, his series, or his show on Netflix, which looks really cool. And by the way, that was the one show that I didn't double Mackie on, and he was really mad when we were on Falcon and Winter Soldier. He was not happy with me. But it was one of those things where we finished Altered Carbon, and he was like, "Hey, can you come and do this show with me?" And I was like, "Let me go ahead and talk to my family." And my family was like, "You've been gone for too long." So I was like, "Hey man, I can't go." And that was it, family first. As much as I love working, and today I'm working, but I went to hang out with my kids at the park earlier, so I made sure to do my due diligence and actually be present. But yeah, it's one thing. You've gotta have a balance. And so for me, it's not the end all be all. I love action. I love making movies, but you also need to make sure that you're putting in the time with your family. And that's a hard balance to have. And I'm still learning how to go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? Because I enjoy doing what I'm doing right now and talking to you guys about all this stuff outside the wire. Thank you. But yeah. Any other questions, concerns? I see googly eyes and boots. Was that for my shoes? Was that for these? What else we got? Let me see what it say. It says, I'm referring to martial arts and stunts, cinema action. Also to previous question, I do and post some fight clips. Oh, okay. So you do all that stuff. Well, great. Okay, so you're on the right track, man. So what do you need me to do? You're doing it. The best thing to do is to do it. Like, that's the easiest thing. Everybody feels like maybe there's a sort of quick way to go ahead and get, to where you want to get. It took me probably about 10 years to figure out my sort of style and the way I like to go ahead and do things. And you may find it sooner. Who knows? For me, it was hard because I don't pick up on things very, very quickly. I feel like the older I get, the better I get, which is weird because the older you get, the more decrepit. But for me, it's not that way. I feel like I learn things. I learn how to take care of my body better. Like, I feel more in shape than I was in my 20s. Now, almost in like my 40s now. So I am now 39. I'll be 40 next year. So I feel great. And I think that's the biggest thing is how you eat, how you train. Right now, I'm not sleeping a lot because I'm developing ProjectH with my team. But other than that, my health is good. So, yeah. Says, okay. Other questions here. Oh, that's a really good question. Do we have, okay, says, hello, Aaron, with all your new projects coming up, do you need a audio post engineer? I might. If you want to send me anything, send us stuff to halvincorpsm@gmail.com. That's here, I'll put it in the little comments section here. So if you are an audio engineer or you're a composer, yes, we are looking for people to compose music for our show. So let me write this really quick. Hopefully everybody can see that. And also, if you guys, if you want to help us with donations for the show, always appreciate it, whether it's $1 or, whatever it is, information, or you've got $100 bucks to spare, which a lot of people don't, but if you do, we appreciate it. We're just trying to do our show right. I can only put in so much money before I go broke and my family looks at me like I'm crazy. So that's why we're looking outward for support. So I appreciate you guys. Even if you don't donate, if you share this link with, with friends, we humbly appreciate that. That's like the greatest gift ever. Like, just to get it out there. We just want to get the word out that we are doing, and we look at sisters. So here, I'll go ahead and post this link in here too. But we are up. We are at 3% in our goal of 100K. Yeah, I know. 100K to make a pilot. Yes. This pilot, to do it correctly. Yes. There's a lot going on. So, and it's hard for me to even talk about it because there's so many things I want to go ahead and tell you guys already, but I can't because that would just ruin everything. But just know that it's going to be a lot of fun. Whether we make our goal and get a bunch of money or not, we're making ProjectH regardless. So I'll find funds or resources one way or another. But here is the link to the Indiegogo campaign. If anyone wants to donate or wants to just share the link. Boom. Questions. Oh, okay. Here's this question from Congo Beast. Congo Beast? I think I'm saying that right. I'm probably saying that wrong. I apologize. It says, what does it say here? So, what was the most terrifying, and have you worked with Guy? Yes, I know Guy. I know Guy very, very well. Yeah, we worked on Black Panther. No, he didn't work on Black Panther. We worked on Captain America Civil War together. But I've known Guy for years. So, no, he's amazing. Guy's a very talented actor as well. He's really taking his acting really, really seriously, and he's been training and doing a lot of work. So, what does it say here? Kong of Beast. Thank you. When it's all together and you got someone looking at stuff that's scrolling, it's kind of like, huh, what does it say? So I apologize for that. Nice name. Do you do parkour? Says, what else we got here? This is a good question. What was it like fighting Scott Atkins? Scott's amazing. If I can say one thing about Scott Atkins, very accommodating. My goodness, this man has done so many fights over the years, and he's extremely sharp. It was amazing. It was a lot of fun fighting Scott. I had never fought anybody that kind of sort of like because we had been rehearsing the fight for a while. We got to rehearse. We got to, come up with the fight and shape it with Luc LaFontaine. And on the day, it's just amazing to go ahead and watch a professional do his thing. Because I've only felt like I can really turn on my style and when I really go with people, with probably a handful of people. And Scott is now in that list of people that I feel I can go off with. You know what I mean? Because it's hard. You find yourselves a lot of times when you do fights, you adjust a lot. And what it is when you get really comfortable with someone who can read your timing and someone who adjusts on the fly really well, even when things aren't going right. That's amazing. And that is something that two experienced people or a group or an ensemble of people will discover as time goes on, which is why Jackie works with his team. Literally don't ever have to say anything. They go, oh, okay, someone just bailed or something didn't go right. Another guy will come in and fill in. That's just because they understand each other. And I feel like when you meet someone that you can literally jump in with and you just start throwing and you go, this person gets me, that's one of the best things in the world. And Scott is that. You can just go. But of course, we didn't just go. We rehearsed the fight, and once we had the fight dialed, it was even better. So yeah, working with Scott Atkins is a lot of fun. I hope to work with him again. Other questions here. It says, your work with Manny Manzanares is some of the best indie martial arts action I've seen around, dude. good shit, stuff, supporting Project H. Thank you so much. I don't know why that message got flagged. I guess those messages get flagged whenever there's profanity in them, I guess. I'm going to have to turn that off as we do more of these live streams because, yeah, I want to see everybody's comments. Right now I'm training, but I'm not the training I wanted. I wake up, I plank, I stretch, I kick a little bit, I do balancing. Like I love to do handstands in the morning to keep my shoulders strong. My shoulder strength is really important because I've got a separated sort of labrum. I guess what you would call this? Is it a labrum or I'm sorry, a rotator? I've got a rotator tear in my shoulder still. But I've done therapy over the years. You know, you do these exercises, you do these exercises, and you do the band work. I've done a lot of band work over the years. And the tear in my right shoulder has gone down. Doesn't mean it's completely gone, but it has gone down. So it's gotten a lot better. But I do these exercises to keep it strong so that everything works properly. So doing handstands in the morning is really important for my shoulders and my core. And moving forward with doing sword work. You know, because I love doing swords, so I want to keep my shoulders as strong as possible, whether I'm working with, you know, like really heavy weapons or aluminum or even light ones that are foam, which is like the best in terms of speed. But I love sort of just making sure that my body is in tune with everything. And it's so much easier to stay in shape than to get in shape. So it's easy for me to wake up in the morning, whether I got to be up at, you know, I've got a call at like, say, 10 a.m. I'll get up at 7 and just hit it for like maybe 20 to 30 minutes and then get on with my day. That's not hard. You know what I mean? It's harder to get in shape because now you've got to go ahead and prep everything and you've got to make sure that you're eating right. Like I wake up, I plank, I stretch, I eat, and I get on with my day. That's it, you know. Once I start having to either bulk up or slim down, then I start incorporating either cardio or, you know, a weight training sort of regimen or anything like that as permitted. But right now, I'm just literally going on about my normal everyday while I'm developing Throne. So Project H, sorry. Project H is Throne, but I try to say Project H more because that's what you're supposed to say. Anyways, questions. My worst injury. Let me see. What's been my sort of worst injury? My collarbone. I separated my collarbone a long time ago. This was pre-SAG. I actually was doing a football gag. It's in one of my older reels. I'm supposed to catch a football and do a cork. And I did a bunch of them, and I was literally getting spiked on my right shoulder, which is probably why my shoulder's still messed up to this day. But yeah, I was getting spiked, and finally, once we were all done, I looked at my shoulder, and it was literally like I had a big hole. It was like it wasn't even the same. I was just like, oh, that's not good. So yeah, that was really bad. Other than that, it's been pretty good. Like I think I've gotten away pretty good without being too badly injured with all the stuff I've done over the years. Car bails, huge ratchets, fights, getting hit in the face by, you know, whether it's an actor or a stunt person. It happens. And I've hit people over the years. I'm guilty as charged. Actually, I don't know if anyone knows this. I wonder if I've talked about this in any of my interviews. I actually hit a Jackie Chan stunt member in the face when we were on Rush Hour 3. Yes, true story. Mong Cha-cha, who is a really near and dear friend to me, Korean martial artist, really good at Taekwondo. He was the guy who doubled Andy On in New Police Story. So all of the sort of really cool kicking, that is Mong Cha-cha. It was amazing. But yeah, I hit Mong Cha-cha in the face while we were rehearsing fights for Rush Hour 3. And I felt really bad, and Brad Allen's just stared at me like, really? And I was just like, my life is over. And yeah, I felt really, really bad. And I went to the bathroom to help him. And the first thing he says to me is, oh, Aaron, oh, good punch. I was like, dude, and I'm helping him, like, you know, with his nose and stuff. So yeah, that happened.
My apologies. I couldn't hear.
Why is Siri coming into our conversation? Anyways, so yeah, that was something that actually happened. So worst injury, I guess, delivered to someone. What else we got here? Says, Yep, injuries. Oh my gosh, who's watching Buraku? Buraku is a very eclectic movie that I was a part of, and I'm very proud of the movie. That movie is different. The script is amazing. The movie itself is a mixed bag of emotions. I think we had a lot of fun. Worked with Josh Hartnett, Demi Moore, Woody Harrelson, and I still keep in contact with a lot of my friends from Romania as well. But yeah, that was quite the experience. If you're Romanian, if there's anyone who is Romanian in our chat, Palinka is one of the best alcohols out there, hands down. Like, I'm a whiskey guy and I love Palinka. So those are like my two. If you have either one of those, I'm like, yes, let's go have a drink. Like, immediately. And I don't drink that much, but when I do, it's either one of those. Let's see what else we got here. Yes, handstands are like therapy. They really are. It's great just to balance on your hands for, like, you know, however long you can go ahead and do it and do, you know, drills. No, it's awesome. Ooh, most anticipated martial arts movies of 2021. I'm looking forward to seeing Mortal Kombat because we've got a bunch of, you know, people that are either from the Raid, Jackie Chan stunt team, guys from what else? We have people from so many different walks of sort of the, not only the industry, but industry people, and they're all heavy hitters. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the action, I think. Besides, you know, sort of like mainstream, what else? Kenshin. I can't wait for Rurouni Kenshin and Enter the Bat Dragon. Like, Kenji Tanigaki is literally the epitome of what I hope to do with ProjectH. Like, I want my action to just stand out and to be profound, but also have to be grounded. I want my stuff to be somewhat grounded, but somewhat, you know, whimsical. And that is a hard balance to have sometimes. It's hard to go ahead and blend styles when you go, well, you're going off on right foot, and now they've got powers, and now you're flying around, and you just jumped over this, and you did a flip, and why'd you do that? Well, there's ways of doing it. No one really questioned Throne. There's a lot of silliness going on. Go back and watch the original short. There's some silliness going on, but you don't question it because of the context that it's put in. So if you set it up accordingly and there's a story behind it and you leave these breadcrumbs, you can do just about anything. Now, with that said, that doesn't mean go out and try to go ahead and fight with boots on your hands, a la Drive, if anyone understood that reference. But that still worked, and you understood why it worked. So context is very important, especially in terms of what you're trying to do with fights. So keep that in mind with whatever it is you're building. But those are my movies. Back to the question. Those are the movies that I'm looking forward to. Oh, also another Kenji Tanigaki he's got his hand in G.I. Joe, because I got to see a bunch of the rehearsals that they were doing with the sort of ensemble of ninjas and stuff like that, and it looks amazing. So if you think about Kenshin and you think about how those fights are awesome, and then you think about G.I. Joe and have put Kenji Tanigaki in there with his team, you cannot fail unless somebody messes up the edit, which is what we have to worry about. So the edit is something we're gonna have to worry about, and that's another thing we'll have to talk about in another live stream, because I could go on and on about editing. It's one of those things that drives me up the wall, and I'm sure a lot of you too. It just drives you batty, because I know it drives me nuts when you know that the action was choreographed well, and it was set up accordingly. And the previs was probably amazing, but also story is king. So you understand that not only do you have to cater to what's being done in the previs, but you have to cater to the actual story. But the edit suffers, and it's just sad sometimes when you think about, wow, I bet that was really cool, but it's all being chopped up because that person probably doesn't have all of the pieces, or they were told to do that. There's so many scenarios that happen in the editing room, and the editing room is like your last stand.